I'm Sean from Offload, Rugby Media.
This is Simeon, also known as the TikTok Ref.
Hi guys, I'm Murray, also known as Blissful Rugby HQ.
And welcome to Season 2
of the Rugby
Connection
podcast.
Hope you're ready for it.
For the fans.
By the fans.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Season 2 of the Rugby Connection podcast. We're back once again and there's a lot of rugby once again to talk about. Murray and Simeon, how are you getting on? Simeon, how are you today?
I'm grand. Had my highest level adult game yesterday, reffing, so that was intense. We'll come on to that a bit more later, but it was a very close game up in Haddington. Haddington is a very nice place. I don't know if either of you been there, but Haddington's a lovely little place, but very tight game, 27-20 for the away team. But it was a good crack. Been a long week out, definitely haven't been drinking again, and we move on. We crack on to more nursing this week. I'm good at taking pulses now. Nice and strong. Happy days. Oh, and also on drink of the week, we're not on alcohol yet. We're on vitamin C because I'm the only one, I think, to not get freshers flu because of vitamin C.
Nice.
So we crack. God, I've not been ill, which is grand. I do not want to get ill.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, the vitamin C is always a nice drink to have.
A bit of tangy taste is grand.
Anyway, Murray, how are you keeping?
I'm in extremely amount of pain. Big game yesterday. I was against Glenrothes Seconds, 50-17 to the Crusaders. Big win for us. That's 2 on the bounce for us. I played about 35 minutes, and in about 2 minutes of that, I thought I was coming off. I got tackled, and the way I went down, I was genuinely convinced I broke my ankle when it happened. Like, you know how you get like a sharp shooting pain and you go down anyway? Well, I was too busy protecting my head, like in the ruck, and I went to get up, and I just couldn't put any pressure on my foot.
Oh God!
Hobbled.
Was it?
I don't even know what it was. I got back. I hobbled back to our half to receive the kickoff. Like kind of like limped through the next like 6 phases, and I was like, if somebody sees me limping, I'm going off now because like, I can't walk. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was like just like a shot of adrenaline hit me or what, but the pain went away. I played the rest of the game. As soon as I took my boots off at the end, swelled up like a balloon, and now I can't walk. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But I've just been shouting at you, put ice on it all day.
Yeah, Simeon's being like a proper like mum to me today. Mind put ice on it, tape it up, look after yourself, and leave it elevated and all that.
Yeah.
But no, it is sore. Hopefully I'll be all right soon. We have got 2 weeks off from games. Crusaders don't have game for the next 2 weeks, so nice little rest period.
You never know.
Anyway,
Some of a Rugby Connection podcast at Curry next week.
maybe we'll see. Might even have you at the good old Duffus Park for the first game.
Aye, if it's time works out, be grand.
Anyway, Sean, how are you? Seeing you've been a very busy boy again this week.
I have, yes, once again. So I was back at the Aviva. I think that's nearly my second home at this stage, the Aviva.
But you live there, don't you? You just practically live at the Aviva.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I do with my free time is go to rugby games. So, so I was at the Leinster game yesterday, and then today I had my first senior home match. It was just finished there about 2 hours ago. We lost 34-17 in the end, but it was a good effort overall. I played most of the game, came off the last 10 minutes, scrum half.
You get 9?
Yeah, 9, yeah.
Any shithousery?
Did I which?
Any shithousery?
That was my question.
No, not really, no. But my voice did go just from all the shouting in the second half, especially in defence. So
He's like a little
not
general,
too bad now.
General, General Sean.
Just imagine Sean like, numbers left, come with me.
I can't see it.
But that's exactly what I was doing. Back 10 after giving away penalties.
I will get more off you about the game from the Aviva when we get into that. But there's a lot of rugby this week, boys, isn't there? Premiership, the return of the URC, Rugby Championship, Rugby Sevens, and women's rugby as well. It's crazy. I think this is our busiest week in coverage. Yeah.
Anyway, Murray, do you want to start us off with the Premiership?
Yeah, let's go for it. Again, this has been another strange week in the Premiership, which tells you how good this season's going to be from all teams.
I was going to say, there's been some big upsets.
Absolutely. I mean, we start off on Friday night, Leicester Tigers versus Gloucester. Leicester are strong this year. Ellis Genge and Harry Wells getting over in the first half. I wrote down Harry Potter does wizardry because it makes sense. His name's Harry Potter, like he's a wizard.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you've got time to go and look at that try, I think I sent it to you boys. It's just class. Like that boy is unreal. 33-26 win for Leicester, so that's 2 wins from 2 for them. I can honestly say this is good. This is the Leicester of old, using the forwards to make up all those meters and power through the phases and get the backs to finish off nicely. It just feels very niche and quite a nice thing to look at again.
Happy day.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the Saturday. Saturday obviously had the most games with 4. Bath versus Newcastle, 20-13 to Newcastle. Big win for them.
Well, they had a good game against Quinn, so maybe underrated Newcastle.
I think there's a lot of sleeper teams this year, if I'm honest with you, Simeon. It's just, I don't know. I thought Bath would win it because it was their first game back at the Rec, so I thought they're going to, full crowd, they're going to go for it and be like Bath. Like, you never want to sleep on Bath because they're always one of those teams anyway, but they had to rely on a last-minute kick just to get a losing bonus point from Orlando Bailey, but they got that. But the main talking point again, it's that boy again, the Egyptian prince, Adam Radwan. He's just unreal. That man is a regular star for England in this autumn test if you could keep him fit.
He's lightning quick.
Aye.
It's frightening, and I just like to be a bit happy about it because I banged on about him.
Would you replace him with Johnny May? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
He's quicker and more in form.
He's quicker. He can actually tackle. He's not just a one-dimensional player. Bye, Johnny May.
Yeah.
Bye. See you later. Chiefs versus Northampton. Chiefs' first game of the season back at Sandy Park, and sadly, it's another defeat. 2 defeats in a row for the Chiefs. This time it was a lot closer. They did feel a bit more standard. Chiefs playing better rugby, but a lot of first-team players are still out, like resting from Lions duty or just injured.
Yeah.
I think I looked at the list yesterday, and there's 10, maybe 11 regular players that aren't playing right now. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Armand got on the scoreboard. Jack Maunder he's a brilliant underrated scrum half in my opinion. I like Jack Maunder quite a lot. Taima, he's the new number 8. He's fantastic. Like, if Sam Simmons is away on international duty, that's our number 8. I feel like that was always Exeter's big issue last season. As if Sam Simmons was to get hurt or go down, you didn't have one. We definitely have one now, and he's a big Samoan, so you can't really beat that.
Can't go wrong.
And you know what? From a neutral perspective, it's how you want a game to end. Right at the death. George Furbank, last-minute kick, giving Saints a 24-26 win. Also would like to mention Alex Mitchell and Matty Proctor got tries for the Saints as well. So that's 2 wins in a row for the Saints and 2 defeats in a row for the Chiefs. So lots to talk about, lots to improve from. A lot of people are already writing Chiefs off this season.
Wait till their internationals come back. Exactly.
And all I can say is, look what happened to Quins last year. Quins were nowhere to be found till January and won the title. So never this league, there's so many great teams just across the board. Speaking of which, Quins versus Worcester Warriors. Quins did get the win 35-29. So there's 2 losing bonus points for Worcester Warriors. Worcester Warriors are properly impressing me this year. They've just got a very nice team that's came together really quick. Rory Sutherland and Duhan van der Merwe
are not there yet.
Still yet to debut. But one of the newest signings, he scored last week. He scored again this week. Willie Hines.
Willie Hines is such a good player. Like, I remember when England dragged him in last minute to the World Cup in 2019, and he played so well. They co-captained him in his debut.
Yeah, tells you all. It's just the experience. Ollie Lawrence for Worcester as well got on the score sheet. He's incredible. He's only like 22, 23 years old. It's frightening how young he is. But yeah, 2 losing bonus points for Worcester Warriors. But we'll talk about the winning side. Harlequins, Tommaso Allen controlling the pace at 10 again in absence of Marcus Smith. I think that's been a really great underrated signing. I was questioning. I'm not going to lie, when it was announced, I was kind of, why are you signing him?
Allen's a great player.
nothing against Alan, but like Marcus Smith was doing so well and getting so much regular game time. Why are you signing Alan unless it was just purely for injury cover? But no, I think Marcus Smith might actually have solid competition this year for that jersey.
Good. It'll make him a better player.
Yeah, absolutely. But Alex Donbrandt gets on the scoreboard for the champions, and that's another man I've been banging on about. He's in top form as well. You got Adam Radwan on one wing, Lewis Lynott on the other. 3 tries in 2 games. Get that boy capped while you've got the chance.
Aye.
But yeah, so Quinn's another win for the champions. Great to see. Biggest surprise this weekend actually came at the Rico Arena. Wasps getting their Premiership up and running against Bristol Bears. 44-8 to the Wasps.
Oh, dear.
And you know what? It's the same trouble again. Bristol got all their points very early on against Saracens last week. Same again this week. 8 points in 20 minutes. Done and dusted. That was it. It's such a weird game, though. It was 16-8 at halftime to the Wasps. And then in the second half, they just took away with it. Brad Shields, funnily enough, scored a try and then got sent off 15 minutes later. Was red carded. So there you go.
I haven't seen that one. What did he do?
I'm not entirely sure. I must have missed it, but
come to my TikTok. That will be reviewed. That's getting written down right now.
yeah, but I thought it was brilliant the fact that he scored, got red carded, and Bristol still didn't capitalise on it. And I'm worried about their bench and how they use subs as well, because Charles Piatel came off, but Harry Randall came on for him. Right. So there's obviously issues going on with Bristol Bears, and hopefully they get it sorted, because let's be honest, they are fantastic to watch when they're playing their style of rugby.
Aye, true.
And lastly, today's game, London Irish versus Sale Sharks. Again, massive shout out to London Irish captain Matt Rogerson. He played bloody well today.
The score. I didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately. I was out in Edinburgh, but the score was nuts, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I'll put it bluntly. Sale Sharks bottled it. 31-14 at halftime to Sale. So they already had the bonus point. Marlon Yard on the scoreboard, very easy. McGinty scored a try as well. It was unreal. They were just like all over London Irish in the first half. Full time, 31 each.
Wow.
Curtis Rona, the outside centre for London Irish, he is fantastic. He got an interception. He shrugged off Manu Tuolangi with ease and just kept going. It was not stopping him. And yeah, like I said, shout out to London Irish captain Matt Rogerson, leading from the front. Just fantastic game. He wasn't on the scoreboard, unfortunately, but made great hits, made a lot of meters after the tackle. So just well done, Matt. Friend of the show as well. So.
Yeah.
Friend of the show.
I mean, fair play to London Irish, that comeback. I actually have a bit of a quick story for you boys. So I don't know if you know CNH Sports. They do a lot of rugby content on Instagram, but I'm in a last man standing competition for the Premiership. So you pick a team every week, and if that team wins, you advance to the next round, and you can only pick each team once throughout the whole season. So last week I picked Quins. That was grand. They got the win against Newcastle, and I got through. This week I picked Sharks, and because they drew, I'm not even sure if I get on to the next round. But hopefully, fair play to London Irish though. I thought it was going to be a definite Sale win, but London Irish proved me wrong.
Aye, grand.
Yeah, but again, it's just like I think we repeated this last year as well. London Irish just have that in them to get that draw, and almost maybe not get the win, but frighten teams enough for them to bottle it, if that makes sense.
Aye.
Yeah.
Like they done it with Bristol last year.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, just
they're a weird old team, Irish.
But we've got a new competition. We're all happy now. The URC. For those that are wondering.
Before we start talking about the Ulster game, Murray, you need to come on and say something about Irish politics.
Not even politics. I think people take it wrong in the wrong way. If you weren't in on what I said, and I said it on purpose for that reason, Sean and Simeon are fully aware of that. When I said last week that Northern Ireland and Ireland are the same thing, I meant purely from a rugby standpoint. If you look at the Irish national team, it's just Ireland. It's not Republic.
It's
not
the
Northern.
IRFU. It's the
Yeah.
Irish Rugby Football Union.
There you go. It's on your top. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I've never stated this was an Ulster flag. It's a Northern Irish flag. The Ulster flag's the one for yellow.
I purely meant in a rugby standpoint, like the national team sing two anthems. They've got, it's not generic, it's a default flag. It's got the IRFU logo in the middle and the 4 provinces logos on the corners. So it's not even a country flag. So
when it comes to World Cups and they walk out with the flags, have you always noticed Ireland as the IRFU bring out 2 flags? They bring out the tricolour and then they bring out the Ulster flag.
They don't bring the tricolour.
Huh?
They don't bring the tricolour anymore. It's just the one I've just said.
Yeah, they do. They bring out 2 flags.
Do they? Oh well. But even still, like, I stand by it. I know people like were jumping at the bit, saying like, thinking I'm just being like naive and it's the same country. It's not. I know it's not. But from a rugby perspective, it is, which is a good thing.
Yes.
End of that.
Right. Can I talk about Ulster now? Because I got well too much into that game.
Wait a minute. We've got one game before that. We'll do it in the order.
What came before that?
Zebra versus the Lions.
Oh.
And you know what, Zebra, I'm not being funny. If you're going to already get rid of a team, Zebra's that team to get rid of.
They don't have anything about them at the moment.
Max Wani of the Lions got 2 tries in the first. I was 35-0 to the Lions at half-time. Granted, they did choke a little bit looking at the full-time score, but 35-0 at half-time. Come on, get a grip. I will actually praise him for once. I've never done this. Carlo Cana actually did start pulling the strings for Zebra in the second half. Zebra actually did get a bonus point, not a losing bonus point, but an attacking bonus point, and it finished Lions 38, Zebra 26. So it was they kind of choked a little bit the Lions, but you know what? That's their first out in really against European opposition. And I think they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. They were very comfortable at half time and slipped up for it. So they're going to learn when you're in control, don't ease off. Simple as that.
I mean, I think that result is, although it's bad and it was a good comfort win for the Lions, I think that's good by Zebra to come back. You know, when you're, as you said, what were they, 38-0 down or something, to come back and score 4 times. Yeah. 35. Yeah. I think that's good character though, and to be honest, I wouldn't expect that from Zebra. So I think that's a positive. I think they will take positives like that out of the season.
Aye, 100%.
Yeah, of course. Now, because Simeon's like frothing at the mouth. Ulster versus Glasgow, 35-29 to the boys in white. What a game!
A game! It was what you wanted to watch for the first game of the season. It was Glasgow and Ulster, two very attack-minded teams. Scoring, it was just back and forth. You never knew who was going to win. You absolutely had no idea who was going to win. Started off very early on. Balakoon he nearly scored in the first minute of the game. He just ran the pitch. It was amazing. Yeah, he's great. We had a penalty try in the first 10 minutes of the game. I'll go into why that was a penalty try a bit later. Glasgow then started to come back right at the end of the second half. They were leading at halftime by minimal margin. Back on, Ulster start running away with the game. They have a massive lead. And then all of a sudden, Glasgow catch back up again. End the game how you want it to end it. Last 5 minutes, Glasgow had been pressuring on their line for so long. Ulster's discipline that game was top notch. I thought it was great. They keep pressuring, and Ulster, they were turning it over like anything. They were just picking that ball up every time at a ruck. Glasgow could not secure possession. They won the ball, scrum down. I was on the phone to the missus having a meltdown, shouting at the blimmin' screen, and kicked it out. What a win for Ulster. I think Glasgow and Ulster, 2 teams to look out for this year. Honourable mention to George Horn.
George Horn.
Fantastic game. Scored a try. Got a 50-22. He's got a 50-22.
Yes.
It was good. It was good to see. There was one really controversial try, and it was that one where Hume got yellow carded actually for this, and he tried to dive under it. It's really confusing. If you gave that held up, could make an argument for it. If you gave it a try, you'd give an argument for it. It's one of those ones. But fantastic win for Ulster. Keep bringing it on. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we go on to the next game, another shout out on behalf of Glasgowers. First of all, Murray McCallum, former guest of the show, came off the bench for his first actual debut for the Warriors. So well done, Murray. Hopefully that gets you up and running, and it'd be nice to see him back in the navy blue jersey for Scotland. I won't lie, I've said that to him as well. But another, just a shout out, just keep coming in this game. 3 lads that I was banging on about in the end of season 1. Like, I think Sean and Simeon were getting sick of me talking about it, but I can't.
But moving on to the next game.
Nah, I can't ignore it this week. Jamie Dobie getting a try, Ross Thompson playing well, coming off the bench, and man of the match, Rory Darge. Like, unreal, phenomenal. Those 3 are definitely one to watch throughout this season.
Aye.
Moving on, we've now got Sean's beloved Connacht. I'm sorry, Sean.
Yeah, very sad.
Against my old lot.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's always connected. We're always connected.
Connected.
In
It's
the
the rugby
yeah.
connection.
So Cardiff versus Connacht, 33-21 to Cardiff. I actually thought Connacht was going to win this. I thought if you get their season up and running from the word go, they'd be strong contenders, but it wasn't meant to be.
Cardiff's squad depth this season is ridiculous. Have you seen the squad depth Cardiff got? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's frightening. I mean, Hallam Amos, Willis Halaholo on the try scores.
Owen Lane,
the first half. Yeah, Owen Lane got a double in the second. Yeah. Kieran Marmion did get a double as well for Connacht, but it wasn't meant to be. Hopefully Connacht build on from that. But Sean, you're a big Connacht fan, so I want to hear your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. I mean, Connacht were there and thereabouts up till about 60 minutes, but all credit to Cardiff. I was going to say Cardiff Blues, but they're not the Cardiff Blues anymore. They're just Cardiff.
They are still Blues.
Yeah, but I think Cardiff, they absolutely deserved the win. Connacht more so kind of threw it away more than anything. Silly penalties, getting attacking position and just giving away penalties at the ruck. Offside, even of offsides. And then towards the end of the game, Connacht were down to 12 men. Stupid yellow cards. Jack Carthy, I can't even remember what he did, but I remember just being furious. It's disappointing because we were there in the game. We could have won it. We didn't win it. Cardiff deserved it. They capitalised on our mistakes. But yeah, very, very, very sad day for Connacht.
I'm sure you'll bounce back. Connacht's always one of those teams that you don't really want to sleep on anyway.
Yeah.
But hopefully they get their season up and running.
I was just going to say, just for that game, I actually had tickets to that game, but I couldn't go in the end, and I had flights booked and everything. But I think I'm probably better off that I didn't go because Connacht lost. So
you were going to go back to, you were coming to Cardiff.
I was going to go to Cardiff. Yeah. I just kind of was like a short notice thing. You
could have stayed there.
Stay everywhere. Yeah, stay all
over.
over.
An Irishman tonight.
Yeah, no.
We move on. We've got Benetton versus the Stormers. 22-18 win for Benetton. Rainbow Cup champions are best team in the world. Yep. Which is actually saying a lot because I thought Benetton were going to struggle. Like Monty Ioane wasn't starting. Obviously, Paolo Garbisi is no longer there. Mm-hmm. I'm not even convinced Stephen Varney was starting. I think he came off the bench. So, fair play to them. Yeah. Granted, you take it with what you play in front of you. Obviously, a lot of the Stormers are away on international duty, but credit where credit's due. Well done, Benetton, for getting their season up and running on a positive start. It's nice to see, especially as they were Rainbow Cup champions. A lot of people, including myself, writ them off for this new URC, and now they've came out and proved why they won the Rainbow Cup. So yeah, fair enough. Sean, we're going back to you for this one because it was Leinster versus the Bulls, 31-3 to Leinster.
Yeah, I mean, it was very comprehensive for Leinster in the end. And I was kind of disappointing. I really thought that the Bulls, might have scored at least a couple of tries. They didn't really get themselves in too many attacking positions throughout the whole game. Like, I think you can nearly count on one hand the amount of attacking opportunities, like in terms of scoring opportunities that they had. And it was poor. Like, Leinster were clinical, but I think Leinster didn't really even get out of third gear, to be honest. Like third, fourth gear, like Leinster, like obviously first game of the season, they still had handling errors. They still had some things that weren't, sharp. But it's a pity. I was disappointed that the Bulls didn't put it up more, but Leinster were clinical, dominant at the breakdown. Josh van der Fleer was brilliant, man of the match performance. And Luke McGrath, I thought he was brilliant as well. If only Van der Fleer wasn't so good, Luke McGrath would have got man of the match. But no, yeah, class performance But I mean, there were some good names in the Bulls squad. Like you had Johan Hussen, Bismarck Duplessis. You know, a good few well-known guys on that team. And just a pity that they didn't score a couple of tries. I was hoping for it.
Yeah, like you mentioned there, Luke McGrath. I was going to make the joke about Jack McGrath because if you've seen my video on a combined 15 I made a complete arse of it when I got to scrum half. It's a picture of Luke McGrath of Leinster, and I said Jack McGrath, who we all know is a prop. But let's be honest, he could probably play 9. I'm not going to argue with him if he wanted to play 9.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah. So Tongan Thor wants to play bloody 10, so go for it. Why not?
Crack on.
Big boy 15. Tyke Furlong at fullback. Twinkle toes himself. Why not? Here we go. We go again. At a new stadium. It's not at the ERS anymore. It's at the Dam Health Stadium. Don't like that name. I'm not going to lie.
No, not nice.
But
Right.
the result is all that matters. Edinburgh versus the Scarlets. Bonus point win for Edinburgh. 26-22. I was absolutely buzzing. Blair Kinghorn at 10 actually works quite well for this team.
It was working well at the end of last season as well.
Yeah, it's really
Lang
strange.
was on the bench though, wasn't he?
Say that again?
Lang was on the bench, James Lang.
Yeah.
James Lang came off the bench, yeah.
I want to see a 10-12 with them two.
Blair Kinghorn at 10, Lang at 12, Mark Bennett at 13.
That is a class.
There we go.
That is a good.
Speaking of Mark Bennett, this man loves playing in the stadium. He scored the only try at ERS at the time for the brief history of it. DAM. Damn.
Why is it
Damn.
called that?
That's the sponsorship deal, the 5-year deal.
Right.
Stadium name rights, kind of like BT Murrayfield.
Murrayfield, yeah, or the Principality.
Yeah. Graham, 2 tries on his first game back in what feels like forever. It's been a while since we've seen Darcy Graham tear it up like he has, and I can't say much more. I mean, Kieran Hardy and Steph Evans were on the scoreboard for Scarlets, but Johnny McNichol did get a try to give Scarlets the losing bonus point, but was not enough. Edinburgh wins, and what a first win for Mike Blair's side.
Good stuff. That Scarlets team had some dangerous names in it. It was fair play to him.
I called it though. As soon as the squads were announced, I messaged you boys and went, I think Edinburgh might have this in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, my 17 in fairness, I thought Scarlets were going to win, so fair play.
Even though I live here, I was like, that Scarlets team came out, and I looked at that back line, and I was like,
yeah, that was exact same my thoughts. That back line, I thought it was going to be too strong, but fair play, Edinburgh. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, speaking of like returns, like Darcy Graham's return, we'll go across to Thomond Park. Actually, I want Sean to say Thomond because he says it better than me.
Thomond Park.
Thomond Park, there we go. Munster versus the Sharks, 42-17 win for Munster, and Zeebs is back. Simon Zeebo, 2 tries on his return. Just what else do you want more to say?
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Gavin Coombs got 2 tries. He's always one to watch. He's definitely one for the future from a national team's perspective. And the big Viking himself finally made his return as well. RJ Snyman came off the bench, and he just looks like he's out to kill people.
Oh, he does look like an axe murderer.
Yeah, 100%. But big win for Munster. That really clamps that down for their aspects for this season. I had picked Munster for the win. Obviously, I'd like Edinburgh to win it, but we'll take it game by game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Munster. Yeah, you've went Ulster. Sean's went Connacht and stuck to his loyalty. So it looks like me and Simmons front runner so far.
Yeah.
And the final game of round 1 of the URC, Dragons versus the Ospreys. Very tight game, very good game. I watched the majority of it.
I watched a wee bit, yeah.
27-23 win to the Ospreys, and they were having to fight back. Dragons were playing some bloody good rugby. Sam Davies is a very underappreciated 10. He was controlling the tempo.
When Ospreys were in their prime, like, when was it? 2016, 2017, I think it was. Him and Biggs, when they started doing one at fullback, one at 10, it was impossible to beat. But yeah, I think the Dragons are on an up. The Dragons have been for a while, and people aren't talking about it. Dragons are on an up. I think that Ospreys team just had too much class in it.
Yeah, I think the Ospreys today just dug down deep and just were not willing to give in, and it shows that if you keep fighting, you're going to get the win, and they did that.
Especially at Romney Parade as well. It's a hard way win.
Yeah, they're a loud bunch. I've never really watched it.
They are a loud bunch. Yeah.
I've never really watched a Dragons game at Rodney Park, but I've seen it today, and my God, they're loud.
When you just said when you're talking about Rodney Parade there, that actually reminded me. So Jared, before the URC started during the summer, the URC put out a picture of Rodney Parade on Instagram, and they were like, "What's your favorite moment in the stadium?" And I went through the comments, and someone said, "Oh, I got a COVID test there last year." I just thought that was so funny.
That sums up Wales and COVID. Every rugby stadium into a blimmin' like COVID centre or hospital.
Yeah.
That sums up Wales and COVID. Fair play.
I mean, that speaks very highly of the rugby in Rodney Parade. Oh, anyway.
So overall, what are your initial thoughts of the new format of the URC?
We'll see. There's not much to comment on, really.
I mean, I like the new branding anyway. I think they've done really well with the branding and the kind of imagery and stuff.
I hate the referee kits. Did you see the green kit?
Yes, I've seen it. I knew you were.
The yellow one's okay. The green kit is the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed. I would not put that on. I would just be like, no, I'll do it topless. No way.
I mean, that would be you anyway. Yeah, but I think their marketing, in fairness, their marketing has been very good, and I like even in the stadium they were playing that that Jay-Z song with the intro, and the amount of times I heard that in the Aviva the other day. But I like it. I like the logo. I like how they presented it, and hopefully, I'm just hoping that the South African teams will show up with their Springboks and actually put us maybe a stop to Leinster. Please, just stop Leinster winning. Come on.
Murray, you couldn't tell we've got a business student on here, could you?
No. Nah, could not tell that at all.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Wait till I've been on placement. I just start chatting nursing stuff. Then you need to worry.
Oh yeah.
For those wondering, we've got a business student, we've got a nurse, and we've got a sports coach person as well, like me.
Really, we could just run a rugby team. Sean does the.
Sean does all
the stuff. I'll be first aider and or medical, and
I'll coach it.
And you'll coach it.
Well, I mean, all three of us can coach. Come on, give us some time, Murray. Come on.
No,
I'll ref as well.
No, I'm going to be like Eddie Jones. I'll replace the coaching staff every year, but I'm the one that stays.
I'll be the director rugby / water boy. Okay.
Hey.
You'll make some videos. You can make some videos
big run videos.
Yes. Yeah.
Simeon made a shit call this week and it cost us a game because he doesn't like this player. Oh, go away. Speaking of South African, we go across to the Rugby Championship. I think this is the last round. We might have one more round to go. But New Zealand versus South Africa, it was the 100th test in 100 years. It's one of rugby's most fiercest rivalries, and this game did not let up. 19-17 to the All Blacks. What a game.
I thought South Africa were going to win it. I watched the whole game. I thought they were going to win it. They started off really strong. Silly penalties.
Yeah.
Deliberate knock-on, yellow card, probably cost them it. It was just silly penalties. Geordie Barrett slotting one, cold as ice. But it was a weird game. It was brutal. No, one try from each team. It was just brutal.
If we're going to talk about tries, let's all just amend. How good was Cody Taylor's break and pop off to Will Jordan? I mean, from the word go as well, like just over a minute into the game. What a way to start an international test. Just phenomenal. Like Will Jordan doesn't get talked about enough. Like because he's usually a fullback for Crusaders. You've got Jordy Barrett. You've got Damien McKenzie. You've got Bowden who can play fullback when called upon, and then you've got Will Jordan. So technically he's fourth choice, yet he's scoring for fun.
Aye.
Yeah, it's like we said it last week. We're not going into it because it just upsets us. The depth of New Zealand.
Well, I have a question though, because I don't know the answer to this. Is Caleb Clark injured?
I don't think he got picked because he left the Blues to pursue going for the Olympic Sevens, but wasn't picked. So it's like he's got nothing to do. And you can't really pick him out of nothing. So I think he's just off the now.
Right. Okay.
So, as far as I'm aware, if he's injured,
I haven't heard him being injured, so I just wondered why he wasn't there. But there you go, fair enough.
There you go. But yeah, 1917 win for the All Blacks. They're back in fine fell. I think they got a little scare at the start under Ian Foster's tenure, but that quickly got eradicated, and they're just New Zealand. It's just I don't get people that. No, I don't get people that have like bad things to say about New Zealand because again, it just comes out of pure jealousy. Like, you wish your team could play such simple rugby done beautifully.
Yeah.
Have you seen the thing that it's been all going? Like all these commentators are like Wales is going to get absolutely munched by New Zealand. I mean, we probably will, but still, like, give us a chance, okay?
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's just don't write off New Zealand. I don't get where the press and the media came from to, maybe South Africa's going to clamp down this. No, it's New Zealand. Like whoever said like New Zealand's still not best team in the world. Like, they are now. They are officially back at the number one slot,
and they beat South Africa to world champions. So
you're kidding. You're kidding yourself if you think that they're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, we move on to the next game in the Rugby Championship. Australia versus Argentina. I loved this game. It wasn't as tightly contested. It was 27-8 to the Wallabies. First time in 4 years since Australia's won 3 on the bounce.
I know, I saw that. I was quite
that's insane. And can we all just like rejoice? Like my childhood has just came back to existence. Quade Cooper came on, was starting at 10, and James O'Connor has returned in the Wallaby squad. It's just so good.
It's so weird. Those players who were like, when they were young, they were like some of the best prospects of rugby, and then they kind of completely went off the chart and became not rubbish, but lost form. And now they've really grown and become class again. And we had that with Christian Nilafano when he came back a couple of seasons ago as well, didn't we? Like, there's a few of those Wallaby boys who kind of an older Wallaby squad's probably a better squad.
Yeah, well, like Laiku or whatever, Laikau, I think I said last week, the boy that scored 2 last week against Argentina, the outside centre. I'll probably mispronounce his name this week, but I know who I'm on about. The outside centre scored 2 against Argentina last week. He didn't score this week, but he's so exciting to watch. And Reece Hodge split that Argentinian defence apart.
I love Reece Hodge. Always loved him. Yeah.
He can just play anywhere, and he's got some hell of a boot on him as well. I just feel nice and like a warm fuzzy feeling when you see Australia play
him
well.
And Jordy Barrett are both very similar players. They're both massive backs who play 10 to 15, anywhere between 10 and 15, and they both can choose it from anywhere. They're very similar players.
Fuzzy feeling when like Australia that start playing well. I don't know why. I don't like personally support Australia. I think it's just like the players that like we all grew up on, like your Will Genny, your James O'Connor. Like James O'Connor was respect when I started watching rugby, and
when you were a wee little boy.
When I was a little boy, yes. No, but like he was going to be the next big thing. His personal life took a negative turn that we don't need to get into. He kind of flopped around the Prem a little bit. Went to loan, didn't really do well there. Got a second chance at the Reds. He's now captain of the Reds. They won Super Rugby Australia. He's now back in the Wallabies squad. I'm saying, I've said it before, I'll say it again. He will be the next Australia captain. When Michael Hooper, I'm not saying it will happen anytime soon, but when Michael Hooper calls it quits,
James O'Connor would be great.
James O'Connor will be captain.
Fair enough.
And you know what? In our glistening hope, Argentina, Buffelli getting a penalty. Argentina didn't really.
Yeah, I think we should ship him out to Edinburgh now, to be honest.
Argentina didn't really do much this game. Sadly, the Buffelli got a penalty, and Julian Montoya, Leicester Tiger hooker, captain of Argentina, got a try. That was it. The try wasn't even converted. So I do feel for Argentina because they're such a great team to watch, and they have so many good players. It's not that they don't get the exposure; it's who they're against.
Yeah,
like I know the debate's there to have Japan join it potentially. I feel like Japan would be stuck in the same boat. Like, yes, Japan play beautiful rugby, and they need that exposure, and they've got fantastic players. But Japan against New Zealand all day.
Well, I mean, but people would have said that, Japan against South Africa as well, so, and then beat South Africa. So,
yeah, true.
The only way they can get better at beating the best teams by playing them more often, So,
exactly.
You are right. You're absolutely correct, Murray. They would lose 9 times out of 10 to the All Blacks, probably 9.9 times out of 10. But still, though,
I know what you mean.
Need to play more often.
All right. Well, moving on, I believe, onto sevens.
Yes, a big shock in the. I'm even up to date on the sevens this week because my phone.
I'm more up to date on because we finished. Obviously, we didn't get the sevens finished. So well done to South Africa for winning the Vancouver Sevens, my old home. Watched quite a lot of that night.
They're in Edmonton this week, so it's kind of like Canada Sevens Part 2.
Well, yeah, it's the Edmonton Sevens. Yeah. So, big shout out to America as well for winning the women's. No, nice. we didn't. GB won the women's.
Yeah, GB won last week.
GB. Jazz Joyce, absolute legend. I'm sorry, Jazz Joyce is probably the best player on that squad at the moment.
That's fair.
My thing is though, she is like, what is she? 5'5", 5'7". She's tiny, but she'll tackle anything.
She's so busy.
But it's like everyone's like, oh, her attack. I don't care about her attack half the time. We know she's good at that. Her defense is amazing. It's right. Jazz Joyce Rantover, very good player. Very happy she's doing well still. And scored a great try yesterday.
I think the big shock, the bit that I got buzzed about was Germany beat Team GB in the men's sevens.
Germany's been good.
I'm not actually a bit kind of happy because I have German family members, like my grand's German, so I always I really want the German top. It's
nice. It's really nice. Yeah,
so nice.
Ireland's been doing well. Another draw for GB Ireland in the pool stages. Obviously, GB got the bronze. Came third against Ireland last week.
12-all again. Last week we drew as well with GB, so it's been a tight affair every time we played them. Ireland.
It's good to see.
Yeah, Ireland lost to Canada. I think it might have been the quarterfinals, 14-12. I'm not sure if it was a quarterfinal or not, but we lost to Canada anyway today. I know that's all.
I don't care because I live in Canada. It's good to see Canada doing well.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to Canada. A bit sad. One thing, there was a clip that was doing fairly well yesterday, doing the rounds. Was I mentioned him last week? Shane Jennings, the Ireland under-20 centre from earlier on the year. He scored a beautiful try against Jamaica for Ireland. He got the ball inside, just outside the Ireland 22, stepped inside, and then he got up to halfway, put in a grubber kick, regathered it, beat the last defender. It was a great try. Absolutely.
On Ireland Sevens, did you see Greg O'Shea's retiring?
Is he? I didn't see that. No. Oh,
he went on his Instagram in the last 2 hours.
Oh, well, like, to be honest, I'm kind of not surprised, but I mean, like, he's been a great player. That's kind of sad, though. Wow.
I know. I can hear girls crying all over the wall right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start crying now, because you said that.
Oh, is this the Love Island boy?
Yeah. They want it.
Yeah.
Just because when you said girls crying, I'm like, all right, okay, he's the boy that won Love Island, right? Okay.
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot more people crying when Jordan Conroy retires. But anyway, I'll be bawling my eyes when Jordan Conroy retires.
Only cry my eyes when Jazz Joyce retires.
Oh yeah, that's That's gonna be a sad day. Do you want to transition then over to the very sad Women Europe World Cup?
Yeah!
Oh, you mean Goodwin? You mean Goodwin?
Oh well, it depends which side of the coin you're on. So I mean,
I'm wearing an Ireland top. Where's my Scotland flag?
Oh no! In all seriousness, what a game! It was so good.
Sorry, it's much better now. It's okay. It's all good.
It just looks like a white. It's fine.
I can't. It's too big.
Well, okay. Yeah, Scotland versus Ireland. What a fantastic game of rugby. 2018 Scotland women. Just fantastic. Massive shout out to Helen Nelson, Lisa Thompson, Chloe Rowley, and Rona Lloyd. Scored a fantastic try. Helen Nelson, absolutely beautiful cross kick. Rona Lloyd gets on the end of it, slots down for the try. Not much more to say.
Scotland really might do this. They really might get in this World Cup.
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I mean, Italy did qualify because they absolutely slapped Spain women, which was a shame because Spain women were playing some nice through this
They played
qualifying
some really
tournament.
good rugby last week, yeah.
But Italy bounced back strong. Like they got beat by Ireland, so it was all to play for. That all four women's teams had one win.
It's Scotland v Italy next, isn't it?
No, like there's Scotland are now in the last qualifying tournament.
the repechage.
So yeah, so Italy, because they won that, they're through. They don't have to worry.
Of course.
But Scotland have the dream continues.
That's great. That
Also-
was so good.
Massive shout out to Emma Wassell of Scotland women. 50 consecutive caps.
That's nuts.
That is insane. So well done, Emma. And what a way to get your 50 consecutive cap.
Aye.
50
It would be
on the
good to get
bounce.
Scotland. It would be good to get Scotland in this World Cup on a purely like we've got England, we got Wales. I know we
Not
sadly
got-
don't have
Not got Ireland.
We don't have Ireland.
Not funny. I mean, that's so disappointing. Not that Ireland don't even have a chance to qualify for the World Cup. Like next year, there's going to be no Ireland in the World Cup. Like that's so disappointing. From the World Cup in 2017, Ireland finished fourth, and now we're not even in the World.
But the thing is, the last World Cup,
devastating.
whenever it was, not the last. What? No, not 2017, because you did awful in 2017.
Did we not?
Yeah, Wales. It was the last game to qualify for the next World Cup in the World Cup. It was the 6th, 7th place, or the 5th, 6th. Who was it? Yeah, no, the 5th, 6th qualifying game in the World Cup, and Wales beat. I remember watching it. Wales beat Ireland, and we qualified for the World Cup, and you didn't.
In the last
There you
World
go.
Cup,
Yeah, it was.
we
the
were
World
in
Cup
that. We
before.
hosted the last World Cup. We had to be.
You
in.
hosted it the World Cup before in France. You did.
Oh,
really
before
well.
that. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch that.
I'm
then.
up to date on the women's. It's all good.
So just Ireland and World Cups just don't click. Well,
They
sorry.
do
Yeah,
in
I mean,
any
that's-
gender,
That's-
sex.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just Ireland, Irish people in general. Yeah. I mean, it's the same with football. So I mean,
That's true.
That's it. So yeah. Anyway,
That's enough of that disgusting word on a rugby show.
I should have said soccer. Sorry, soccer.
I actually.
Oh no, that's worse. That's actually worse. I don't get why they call it that.
To using the soccer word, ref talk. I did steal Nigel Owen's quote of "This is not soccer" to a player this weekend. I should probably tell the story, but this 10, he just dived like anything. So he kicked you at advantage, kicked the ball through. Fair play. That Addington player, I don't know, Braunton player just turned around like to go chase the ball, didn't change his line, didn't look at the 10. 10 went straight into him, went on the floor like this. I just went up to, I got captain coming, I just went, this isn't soccer, go away. But ref talk, I've seen some of the cards, haven't seen the Brad Shields one, as I got written down, but I've seen some of the stuff this weekend. Want to specifically focus on deliberate knock-ons, because we had a few of those this weekend. People were complaining in the Ulster-Glasgow game that the fact he went with two hands means it's not a deliberate knock-on. He slapped the ball down. He slapped the ball far away. It's a deliberate knock-on. There was no cover. It was wide, so Ulster would have 100% scored there, or probably would have scored, as the rest would say. And simple as that, penalty, try awarded, correct decision by Ben Whitehouse in the awful green jersey. But that's what, and then it happened in South Africa game Colsey. Did you see the Colsey deliver a knock on? He just went like that. I was like, could you make it more obvious?
No.
Did you see that, Murray?
No, but you've described it like
He just went. I was like, what are you doing? Why? So that was a really silly one. They were just like, as I said, that yellow card for Ulster in that game as well, with kind of running in on the floor to try and hold up the ball. It was kind of one of those ones that went one way or the other. It went yellow card to Ulster. Thankfully, Ulster didn't lose the game. From my game this week, we had 3 yellow cards. Was one of those types of games. We had a high tackle went shoulder to head. So first contact there, shoulder head, not very loose arms. And it was just the player looked and knew what he did. And he was like, yeah, fair enough. The funniest yellow card of this weekend. Do you remember that Faf de Klerk video where he just ran in with his shoulder like that and just...
yeah.
That happened, but it was even worse. This guy just came at an angle, just went bang with his shoulder right in front of me. Just went, bye. And then a player said, oh, fucking hell, ref. We do not say that at referees. You'll just get a yellow or red card, depending on how you say it, tone, aggression, time of the game. Just stop, please.
And did you give a card?
Fuck's sake, Simeon. Sorry. I had to say it. You set me up perfectly for it, so.
Cards. I actually know the cards are. I won't be sending you off.
Did you give a card for that, Simeon, then?
Yeah, I gave yellow.
Well, fair. Yeah.
I was just stupid. Just don't do it. But the game finished. It was so interesting. It was right last minute of the game. Haddington on their own 5-meter line to win the game, 3 points down to score a try. Broughton were on a yellow card warning. They gave away 4 penalties in 4 minutes, but it was like it started on the halfway and progressively got closer to the 22. So I was like, yeah, next one, someone's going off. Fair play. Haddington buggered the line out, but still won the ball. Player went in way too high to try and score, got held up, maul, went to ground, don't have to move. And that's the thing, I should probably talk about that. You do not have to move. When maul is called and it collapses, as long as it's not illegally collapsed, so someone doesn't come through the side or whatever, it just comes down. You don't have to move. You can lay and hold onto that ball as much as you like. That's what you should do as a coaching perspective to not lose possession, and then you can win back possession with a scrum straight afterwards. We nearly had a 50-22. We did have a goal line dropout. It was just a knock on in touch, so goal line dropout. We had a few new laws come in. It was good stuff. It was a great game. Very interesting to ref at higher standard. But we move on to next week with Curry under 18s versus bigger under 18s. Murray, any idea of how that might be?
Oh, that's a tough one because
I have refed Curry under 18s and they got absolutely destroyed by West of Scotland.
Oh well, how if I first put 80 on West of Scotland first?
Clearly the first need they're under 18s.
It's all weird because you said that how under 18s got slapped in one of the games you did.
Yeah, they got what was it, nearly 70 points to 0, maybe 5 against Ackies. Edinburgh.
Yeah. Aye, sorry. Oh no, it just so it just depends on because youth sometimes are getting beat and the first are doing really well or the opposite way. But it just depends. I don't know how it makes so much difference. It's like when like people like, oh, how come like Scotland got beat by Italy women? Men's rugby and women's rugby is 2 totally different things. Same with under 20s. Same with 7s. Hell, even rugby league. I could give you a great example. Like the Rugby League World Cup from 5 years ago. It'll be 4 years ago. Sorry, Scotland played Tonga. Now in Union, you'd back Scotland to do quite a comfortable job on Tonga.
Oh, Scotland beat Tonga. Who's going to that one there?
No, but like in rugby league, I didn't think anything of it, so I backed Scotland, and Tonga absolutely slapped them. And then I started like properly watching rugby league. Like, no, Tonga's bloody great.
It's like
at rugby
Wales
league.
as well. Wales aren't particularly good at league.
Yeah, near Scotland apparently. Ireland, do you have a?
We do, yeah. We're not really great at rugby league at all. No. We were in the last World Cup and I watched it, but some of the Ireland games, but no, we're not very good at rugby league.
Oh well, and just completely forgot to mention it. Top 14. Sean, any updates in the top 14?
There's a few. There's one shock which I think you will be shocked when you hear it, but I'll just run through a couple of the results. One, which I suppose is a bit of a shock, actually, starting off, is Pau beat Montpellier 23-22, which I think that's, a lot of people would predict Pau to finish really down the bottom of the table. Montpellier more so probably mid-table to maybe could squeeze into the top four, but I think that's a good win for Pau. Zach Henry, the former Leicester Tigers centre, he was playing for Pau. He scored a try and a couple of penalties. La Rochelle had a good win against Biarritz this week, 59-17. Biarritz's brilliant run of form that we were discussing last week has fortunately come to a halt by Roland O'Gara's La Rochelle. Yes, it is very sad. Racing had a 24-20 win against Lyon, and it's pretty much Racing are now back to full strength with Finn Russell. He's back playing at 10. Yeah, I'm Murray. You must have been delighted. But
best 10 in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fact.
It is a fact indeed.
Yeah, I mean, that team. Sorry, were you going to say something there, Murray?
I was going to say, there you go. It's actually an unusual, ununanimous decision that we've all agreed on something. So there you go.
I know, it's not very often.
No, yeah. But yeah, that Racing team, man. Like you have Russell Vakatawa, Fiku, Imhoff, Kamil Shah, and Curtly Bila fullback. Like, oh man, that's a class team. Anyway, enough of me raving about Racing. This is the shock that I think you will be shocked.
Go for it. Perpignan
beat Toulon 12-10.
No.
Yes. I mean, wow.
Okay.
I looked through the Perpignan team. Not many players that I knew except for Martin Landajo and Damien Shuley. Other than that, I didn't recognize any of their names. Toulon, on the other hand, had the likes of Nakarara. He started number 8. Louis Carbonella 10. Gabin Valère. The usual. Now I suppose it wasn't a pack like the old Toulon of old, but still though, that is a big scalp in the top 14. That is pretty mad. Hopefully Perpignan have a good season. And actually, just while I remember it, I forgot to mention it earlier while we were talking about Pacific Rugby, but the Fijian Drew announced their head coach during the week. Mick Byrne, former AFL player, former skills coach, I believe, with the All Blacks, I think. He's now the head coach of the Fijian Drew for the upcoming season. To be honest, I never did know too much about it. I thought they might have had someone a bit more high profile in terms of who would have more head coach experience, but I mean, fair play to the Fijian Drew. Anyway, that's it. That's my update done.
Speaking of the new Super Rugby tournament, I read that the Moana Pacifica team only have 5 places left till they have like a full squad. They only have 5 slots available left, so they're ready to go by the sound of it.
Yeah, I know the Fijian Drew. They announced a couple of their players, and a few of the names I recognize, some old Sevens players who would have played on the World Series for Fiji. But yeah, so I mean, I think hopefully they'll be strong as well. Like both will be. I like to see both of them, competing at the highest level. Maybe not going for the title in their first season, but you know yourself. You want to see them do well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we'll be covering that when it resumes anyway. So yeah, just to add to the amount of rugby we cover.
yeah. We cover all corners of the globe. Nothing gets past us.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially now. Just how many leagues have we covered there now? 3, and then the Sevens and the women's. There's 5.
Yeah,
and the Rugby Championship.
We're a connected podcast hosted by connected men.
Okay, that doesn't sound weird, but okay.
Sean, I don't know how to do this, Sean. I was telling Murray about I'm not in Scotland for Wales v Scotland, so I can be Welsh and proud in Ireland.
Oh yeah.
Or Northern Ireland. I'm playing rugby Northern Ireland.
You'll definitely, if you go around wearing your Wales jersey with your Welsh accent, you're definitely going to get some strange looks at me in that week.
Well,
I'm in Derry for when the Awesomes are on as well, so I'll be there in a pub watching rugby, singing Welsh songs, and no one's going to have a fucking clue. I've happily said to Emily, I'll sit you there with a drink and I'll just crack on. So
yeah, you just get on about your business.
I'm officially on countdown mode. It's now 2 weeks to go till I'm at Sandy Park for Exeter Chiefs. I actually cannot wait. It's going to be class.
Nice.
Happy days.
What are we? And then 2 weeks after that, we're all together.
We're a month and 4 days. Well, a month and 3 days till we're together. Well, a month and 4 days till we're all together.
Wow. Well, assuming you have the countdown anyway.
3 weeks. What? No, I'm gonna have to go and pick Sean up from Haymarket.
Hopefully, I'll be alive by then.
I did offer. You said no, so.
He wants to play the Wii. He wants to. Oh, we've got Mario Kart now.
Oh yes, I'm
It's
sorry,
all good.
Murray. I have to go with Finley now. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll just cry in my sleep tonight. It's all good. Anyway, this has been episode 2 of the second season of the Rugby Connection podcast. We'll be back next week with more Premiership, URC, Top 14. I don't know if there's sevens and women's rugby on next week, but
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Well,
the World Series 2021 World Series is finished anyway. There's only 2 events
Alright.
this year. Well, it's not finished yet, but it's like they still have to finish the finals or whatever from this round. But yeah, only 2 events this
fair
year.
enough. So just a bit more in depth from certain leagues next week then, and we will have fan questions next week. We didn't this week just because the amount of games we covered in this episode. That it's been a busy old week in rugby. So,
it has.
but this has been the Rugby Connection podcast, episode 2, and we will see you next time.
Try.
Long ago.